Coming to you from the coastline here and logging in for a couple of reasons, but the first is because I put makeup on today. That's the first reason I'm here. I decided let me come on camera because I actually put makeup on today. We had our final appointment for our immigration processes today, and it went really well. So, um, yeah, we're going to celebrate a little bit. But the real reason I'm coming to you today is to talk about Take Action Tuesday. So today we have launched, and by we, I mean Wes and I and our company, Zelle Consulting Services, we have launched a new campaign. We recently signed up to be a partner with Care2. So if you work in the nonprofit or philanthropy sector or any sort of activism, you've probably heard of Care2. Um, Sometimes you'll see their link come up as the petition site, and basically Care2 helps nonprofits and other cause-oriented people to promote campaigns, petitions specifically, and get signatures for petitions to advocate for different progressive causes. So we have signed up, Zelle Consulting Services, our firm, has signed up to be a partner with Care2. And what that means is that every Tuesday, I will be selecting a petition, generally speaking, a petition that has to do with ocean conservation or ocean justice or some other form of conservation and justice, and promoting that petition. And I'll have a targeted number of signatures that I'm seeking to acquire. Wes will be helping with this as well. And essentially, for every person that signs the petition and verifies their signature and then elects to receive emails, so doesn't opt out of emails, we'll earn a little bit of revenue on those signatures. And we're doing this for a couple of reasons. Number one, Care2 has does amazing work in getting support for progressive causes, particularly the one that we're promoting today, which Wes is going to be dropping in the comments. The link to that petition is about holding oil companies accountable for spilling oil into the Gulf of Mexico. And so we're doing this partially to help build revenue to support our pro bono work, which, as you know, our coral restoration work is all pro bono. We don't get paid for any of that. And also to elevate these causes. So I'm actually standing. This water body right here is the water that is between the island of Cozumel and on the mainland of the Yucatan Peninsula, which is Playa del Carmen. This is part of the Gulf of Mexico. So when something happens, for example, let's say in Louisiana and Texas, there are a lot of oil platforms there. There's a lot of traffic that goes through the Gulf of Mexico on the U.S. side. And as we all know, like the BP oil spill, which took place in the Gulf of Mexico on the U.S. side, water's connected. This is all part of that same system. So I'm standing here next to the Gulf of Mexico, the places where you see us dive, and the footage that we put onto this channel of us diving and doing coral restoration work is in the Gulf of Mexico. It's very similar. The nature across the reefs and actually the terrestrial nature as well is very similar to islands in the Caribbean. But technically speaking, it is part of the Gulf of Mexico. So what happens in Texas and Louisiana off the coast, and particularly when you're talking about industrial pollution, has the potential to affect us down here. So the petition that we're promoting today, which Wes should be dropping the link. He's actually sitting in the car right there listening, and he'll be dropping the link to the petition in the comments. That is to hold accountable a particular oil company that spilled oil, and there's no question as to whether they actually had the incident which caused the oil to spill and obviously devastate the marine ecosystem. But there is a question as to whether they are being held accountable for cleaning it up. So you may or may not know, depending on the extent of your background working or volunteering in ocean conservation spaces, polluter pays is sort of um, the extent to which polluters are held accountable for cleaning up their own messes can vary. And typically, what happens when you have a company, an oil spill, for example, there are a lot of different companies involved in what the catastrophe, right? You have like shipping companies involved, you have the producers of the oil, the refiners of the oil. Maybe there were other people or other ships around the ship that caused the spill, and they might even be implicated. So there's always going to be a question around liability and who is responsible for paying to clean things up. So in this particular case, there's an oil company and there's a lack of transparency around the extent to which they're being held accountable for the cost of cleaning it up. Because think about it. If the companies don't clean it up, guess who has to clean it up? The government. And guess who's paying for that? Everybody that's paying taxes. So it's really important that corporate actors, when they do things like this, that they are held accountable for paying for the cost of cleaning it up. The extent to which it actually serves as a deterrent is up for debate, right? Do companies actually behave better because they're worried about being held responsible and having to pay penalties and having to pay for the cost of cleanup? It's it depends who you ask. Nevertheless, this is a specific incident where this particular oil company did in fact spill oil, and this petition is aimed at them in order to encourage and foster accountability, so that they will have to pay for cleaning up the Gulf of Mexico. So again, I thought it was important that we come here, that you see what we're talking about. I mean, this is not obviously the site that it happened, but it's the same water body. And in fact, I'm gonna go walk along the coast and show you how beautiful it is. If I can figure out how to turn this around. Let's see, here we go. Okay. I'm just gonna walk out here so you can see. I mean, this island is so special, and the tropical parts of the Gulf of Mexico, you can see, I mean, it's just this beautiful clear water that people come from all over the world. I mean, there are people that visit here from Europe, from Africa, from Asia, from all different countries in South America. And it's a beautiful place and it's precious. And these ecosystems can only take so much of our abuse. So I really like this opportunity with Care 2 because there are specific actions that I'll be bringing to you and amplifying. And, they're very directed. It's not just a kind of complaining about the general state of things. I want to show you something since we're here. These little snails, they have these beautiful shells. These are all alive. There's little tiny snails in there. These are snails. There's little hermit crabs in here too. Sometimes you'll see little hermit crabs. You see seeing crabs. Oh, this thing is cool. I can't remember the name. If anybody knows the name of this creature, they look so prehistoric to me. Very, very cool animals. This is sort of a tide pool kind of ecosystem, which is part of it. It's all interconnected. The reefs are interconnected with these tide pools, and then the mangroves are obviously very much interconnected, or maybe not obviously. I shouldn't say that. Not everybody has studied this for decades. So we have some beautiful aquatic trees here. Let me see what I can show you. What else? Oh, these are sea grapes. Sea grapes are so cool to me. They grow in very sandy soil. And there's no seeds on this one that I can see. But they call them sea grapes because, there's a seed. Let me not step in any ants. That's a seed, but those seeds grow in these big bunches and they look like grapes. So they call them sea grapes. I'm told they're not edible. Yeah, and then if you look at even this rock, to me is so cool. The limestone rock, we call this karst topography, which means that it's porous. So anything that happens on land in terms of water and pollution actually soaks through the rock, which makes it really cool, but it also makes it really imperative that we don't have water pollution. This is just easy for anything to reach the aquifer, which is, of course, the aquifer is underneath the bedrock. Oh, you can see this is cool. So this is basically like a fossil. That's like a coral fossil. Yeah, I mean, look at that. Actually, fun fact, the worst sunburn that I ever received. Hold on, I'm going to turn this back around. So the worst sunburn I ever got, which actually had me debilitated. I was supposed to go scuba diving and I couldn't dive because my legs were so badly burned. And when I got that sunburn, it was here in Cozumel when I was on vacation. And the reason is because I was driving down the South Road where there's a lot of just pure nature, no houses, no buildings. And I got out to go, see the water. And I got really caught up just looking at the tide pools and just watching snails and crabs and little baby fish that were swimming around. And I was just so enamored, and I was there for like an hour and a half or something. And foolishly, I did not have sunblock on, and I got so badly burned that I learned never to do that again. So on that note, I'm gonna head back to the car because I'm not protected right now from the sun. But yeah, anyway, please sign the petition. That was my point in coming here. I get so distracted by nature. Please sign the petition, share it with someone else. All you have to do is sign, verify your signature, and don't opt out of the little box that says that you'll receive emails. If you opt out of the little box, we won't get the revenue. If you support our work, you like what we're doing, you'd like us to be able to continue to do it, then don't uncheck the box and just go ahead and sign, share with a friend. Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. The more we get closer to getting the number of watch hours and subscribers and all that good stuff, the more we can rely less on trying to make money through client work, and the more we'll be able to dedicate to this pro bono work, which really needs to be done. And there aren't a lot of people that have the opportunity to do work for free. We really can't afford to do work for free, but we do it anyway because it brings us so much joy and fulfillment. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please share our channel, ask people to subscribe, and please sign the petition. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.